This is Pod With Me. On today's show, our guest tells us what it's like to separate from a 29-year-old relationship to then finding out that he has a brain tumor. Get ready, because the pod starts now.
Don't feel pity, don't feel sorry for them, because that's the last thing you want to hear. I am so sorry, man, I'm so sorry. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that, because those are words that bring you down.
Let's go again. Alex, are you ready to pod? Hey, are you all ready? Talk. Alex J, I hear.
Are you ready?
Let's go!
Let's get a sound check.
This is Alex J. Aguiar, and you're listening to Pod With Me. And right now I'm here with...
Eddie Acosta.
You are going right now through...
Cancer.
Yes, a topic that many... The C word that many people may be affected from it or know someone that is affected from this. First, tell us where you're from.
I'm Cuban. I've been in Miami basically all my life. I'm 56 years old, and I've been here since 7. My family's from El Vedado in Cuba.
So tell us, what was life like before you were diagnosed?
Life for me was very simple. I like simple stuff. I don't like Miami very much. I never really care about all this conglomeration of people that we have that sometimes they fight against themselves. I'm not talking about Latin people that if you're from Venezuela, from Honduras, from Mexico, they're always tending to say we're better than you. Cubans think they're better than anybody else, etc. So as soon as I graduated from university, I moved to Seattle, Washington. And I was there for 19 and a half years. And I love it. I miss it. I want to go back where people were normal.
So what made you come back to Miami?
That's when my dad had a serious heart attack. And I wanted to spend the last, what was supposed to be the last year or something with him. And that was 7 years ago. And I'm so happy that's still, ticking. And he's doing everything like nothing happened.
That's great. So then you stayed here and you figured that your family's here and you wanted to spend your time here.
Yeah, actually, yes. I was there in Washington with a partner in life, and when that ended, I was there by myself.
So how long were you with your partner?
We were together for 29 and a half years.
29 and a half years. Wow.
Yes.
So, and how long ago was that?
Wow, we parted each other's ways about 11 years ago. Alex, I don't like facial hair at all whatsoever on me. I like it on other people. I had a beard that looked like Fidel Castro. I mean, it was how long my beard grew. I remember that it was the day of my birthday when we broke up. And he debated with me whether we should have the party or not. And I said, of course, let's just do it. We've done this in a very amicable way, so let's continue this way. And the next morning, I helped him pack the car because he was driving to Atlanta. And I was going to work. I used to work for Microsoft in Seattle. And remember that when we got to the certain point in the highway where he had to go left and I had to go right, that's when I felt the actual separation, because it was like, wow.
So it hit you right when it happened?
Right. I was driving. It hit me right there and then. And he knew me after so many years. He called my boss in Microsoft and told him what happened. And so when I got into Microsoft, to my office, I went in and I walked through the hallway, past my boss's office, and she said to me, Eddie, come here. Let me have your keys to your office for a minute. I said, I just got, do me a favor, turn around, go home, and come back when you need to. So, and it was an episode that lasted 3 months. I did not leave my house for 3 months. My car did not move. My neighbors have to bring me food and all that.
It's and I've covered it on the podcast before. It's separation is like dealing with the death.
And then
you were in mourning.
I was from September. It was September 27th when we broke up, and then this went on until December when my neighbor, which happens to be named Nancy, just like my mom, and happens to have a son named Eduardo, just like me. She said to me, "That's it. Enough is enough. Get up. I'm taking you somewhere." So we went to a Christmas tree farm. And she made me cut a Christmas tree, and she made me bring it home. And she told me, you have an hour to decorate it. You have an hour to shave and clean up, and I want to see the old Eddie back. And I did, and then things from then on got better. And I realized I have my own life to live. We lived very nicely for 29 and a half years. It was a mutual agreement what happened between us. So that's it. And then today we're best of friends, friends with his new partner in life, and things are the way they should be. Because after 30 years, almost his family and my family were almost family to each other. So
I mean, I think it's sad when couples break up and they're so long together and they're part of your life for so long.
and then
That-
they end up hating each other, and
It's not worth it.
it's not worth it. I mean, we were always friends, and that's what kept us going always.
Yeah. When you came back to yourself after the whole relationship thing, when did you start dating?
I haven't dated anybody.
Still, and it's been how many years?
It's been 11 years.
Do you think Miami has something to do with that?
I don't know whether Miami, New York, Seattle, China has something for me. All I know is that I'm not going to go look for it. If it's going to happen, it's going to find me. There's been times where it almost feels like it, but then it's a fantasy. It's a figment of my imagination, because now that I have the experience of what a relationship is, when I see people here say, "Oh, we've been together for 8 months, 9 months," and I was like, "Okay, talk to me when you have like a couple of years on it." And then one thing that I was doing that was not supposed to happen at the time is you were comparing that new person with the old one, and you can't do that. That number one, it hurts you because you're bringing back old feelings from the relationship, and number two, everybody's different. Everybody has their positive things to throw into the relationship. So you got to take him. You got to relearn this new person, because you have to go through a learning period when you meet somebody. It's just not get together, because we had our differences every day, and it took a while to meet in the comfortable zone between us. And now, like I said, I'm not. Okay.
Okay, continue.
Now I am not looking for anybody. If something's going to happen, it's going to happen
Destiny.
instant. Yeah, destiny.
Yeah, I think I agree with you 100%. I was
Thursday night, I met George on Thursday night at a club called Fire and Ice in the Design District, back in my days. On a Thursday when they have the beer bust.
the design district existed back then.
Of course. What are you talking about? Anyway, so there was a club there called Fire and Ice, very active club on the weekends. And on Thursdays, they had a beer bus, $5 all the beer you can drink. And back in the days, there was not so many drugs like people do nowadays. We used to drink, have fun, and it was a different kind of fun, you know. We met on a Thursday. I was there with my girlfriend, and he was there with his girlfriend. So we ran into each other in the bathroom after getting our beer, and hey, what's up? We started talking. We ended up talking inside the bathroom for about 2.5 hours. My girlfriend.
Okay, wait a second. So they were waiting outside while you were talking inside the bathroom for
Yes,
2.5 hours?
For 2.5 hours.
About what?
Talking about, things. I found out that he loves cars. I found out that he was,
So you were on a date in the bathroom.
well, kind of, People would look at us funny because
While your girlfriends were outside, you were on a date inside the
They were
bathroom.
frantically calling me. My phone had I don't know how many phone calls. And then we exchanged numbers and we left. And then we bump into each other again. And so we introduced our girlfriends to, each other. And that was it. Thursday night was over. On Sunday, I get a phone call from him. And remember me? My name is George. We met at Fire and Ice. I'm supposed to move today from my aunt's apartment to an apartment that I rented in Coconut Grove. And my friends never showed up. Can you help me? I said, sure, why not? I had other interest in,
Of course.
yeah. And
Now, did you know you had these feelings, or
no. Then we helped him move. But he had a little van to move, and we ended up doing like 25 trips from Hialeah to Coconut Grove, West Hialeah to Coconut Grove. So finally, we ended up. It was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and he said to me, why don't you just stay over? And I said, well, I would love to, but you only have a twin-size bed. And he goes, oh, we'll manage. We'll fit there. And that was it. We laid down in bed, and I couldn't sleep. I didn't know what to do. I've never been in that kind of scenario before. It was the first time for me. It was nothing like I saw in the movies or magazines. It's complete. It's a real life. And he said to me, "Are you awake?" And I said, "Yes." So what do we do? I said, like, I don't know, what do you mean? I was so nervous, and he started laughing, and that broke the ice. And I said, well, we've seen videos, and why don't we just do the same thing that they do in the videos? And
We've seen videos.
so we did. I remember our first kiss, and it was like, should we do tongue? Should we not? Should we just?
Why don't you just do it and not talk about it?
Well, trust me, it was. I wanted to like just crawl inside, but okay, I was more advanced in that than he was, and of course, coming from a straight life into this, like so sudden, there was the doubt of who was going to do who to who. So it was like, and he was like, and For about 5 months, I thought that we were lesbians, because that's all we did, kiss and hug, and then things moved on to the next phase, and 29 and a half years later, we're still together. And one thing that I recommend to anybody that's going to be in a relationship, you need to be friends. The friendship can never end. The moment that the friendship ends, the relationship is over. Because there were times even after so many years that I would get home and I would find little notes on the floor saying, follow this, let's go out. They would take me out to dinner, or who does that nowadays, It's like, bring lunch, bring over to my house.
Very rare.
Very rare. And but on the other hand, after I broke up with him, I realized, wow, 29 and a half years eating vanilla ice cream. I found out there was chocolate, pistachio, strawberry, cookies and cream.
So you never found that while you were with him?
No, never. I was strictly a vanilla guy. And so it kind of confused me now. And in a way, I thank him for that, because if knowing me, when we first met, if I wouldn't have met somebody that made me have a commitment, I don't know if I would have, what would have happened to me, because I'm kind of crazy when it comes to things like that, and it has calmed me down a lot. And I see people doing what I thought I was going to do when I was young, and I was like, don't do it, it's not good. Now I meet people, and I'm just like, okay, after about 15 and a half seconds, I'm like, okay, bye.
Because the thing is that you get used to it. It's a routine. It's like anything in life. And even in general, people that don't have it, they want to find that instant fulfillment. That in life, anything you get instant, you lose fast.
Yeah. And then you have people that you meet, and you think they're the right person at once, but when you live with somebody, stay with them for like maybe 2-3 weeks, you realize who that person is for real. And
that's where intuition comes in.
And then but then you have people that have good hearts like myself, that you feel sorry by telling, well, go away, I don't want to see you anymore, or it's hard to tell somebody no. The rejection, from my own personal experience, I remember the first time I went to a club and I asked somebody to dance, and they told me, with you, of course not. That has stayed with me all my life, and that was something that rejection, it's something that it brings your self-esteem really down. And I don't like to do that to other people, because I know what it feels like. Mm-hmm. It's been done to me. Mm-hmm. So I try to like the most, listen, let me, if you don't want to stay here, I have family coming to my house, let me rent a hotel room for a couple of days. I end up going through that, renting a room so he can have a place.
You want to justify what you don't want him to feel, and you overdo it so you can feel good about whatever you're doing.
But I've learned nowadays that speak your mind is the best way to handle anything, because there's no doubts, there's no confusion. This is how I feel. It's not working out. Let's be friends. If you don't want to be friends, move on. But I've learned to say no, which is something that most people don't know how to use that word. Stop using the word friends, because we call everybody friends, but friends, it's a word that carries a lot of weight to it, and you have to earn that. It just don't happen, and sometimes your friends are the ones that do the most harm to you, which has always been my case.
Before Grindr and before these dating apps, let's just say, that I lived it because I know that it was more of a
American Online, you mean?
American Online before AOL. No, not well, AOL was fine because
There
you had
was
to be.
another one
The
before
thing
that
is that
one.
you had to be on the internet to
Yeah, you have to buy the disc at Walden
for
Books.
AOL for the man for man rooms. Yeah,
Yeah, and then you install it in your computer, and then boom, you get on the internet. And then the chat rooms was one chat room for everybody, and everybody could see what you were
It's
writing.
funny because I told my mom I needed a computer for college, which is, I really wanted it to go. When I discovered from a girlfriend of mine that there was the AOL rooms, and that's why I wanted to get in there. That's how I practically came out. But anyhow, what I was trying to tell you is that the romance and everything has deteriorated
Completely.
because of the apps and everything that's going around. It's very convenient, instant fulfillment, like we were talking about. And before, people were more romantic, I would say. You will fall in love easier. And it's not because of the age. I believe it's because of the technology. Because I lived the technology and I lived back then. And it also depends on the person and your surroundings as well. Because there are still, romantics out there. But it's less and less, I believe, because of the technology.
That it's all how you were raised. You follow the example of your family because that's what you see all the time. But let me tell you this, and this is something that you might want to check out to see if it's accurate or not, but I'm pretty sure it is because I checked it. 72% of the relationships that come out of the internet stay together longer than people who meet face to face. What happens is you get to know the person without seeing it. You might see a picture, you might see something, but you cannot hold her, you cannot hold him, or you cannot talk to him, you cannot see his face, and you get to know the person before you actually do that face-to-face meeting.
Yeah, but they do. But nowadays, everybody just wants the picture and wants everything right away.
Right, because again, what you were saying, you want that instant gratification. You want to see a picture. You don't want to take that.
I can
chance.
see why the picture still, but I can see why the picture is important.
But it gives you an idea of
I think there was always pictures, right?
Well, there's some people that put pictures there that themselves 30 years ago, and they tell you, no, this is what I look like now. I went to meet somebody one time, and when I got to the house, I said, hey, how are you, sir? I'm here to see your son. No, I'm here to see me.
Well, that's the biggest red flag right there. You should run. Run!
No. I mean, what do you do? I told him, listen, you should put your own pictures and let people make the decision to come and meet you. Well, a friend, and he would hear the porno going on, and he would like, oye, amigo, estoy en tu cuarto al lado, invítame. I was like, yo no te conozco.
All right. So anyhow, all right. So now you've been trying to date. It hasn't. The one has not arrived. Let's
No,
just
it
say.
hasn't. Definitely not.
Not arrived.
Almost. But I have to say that out of all the people that I've met, I have gained the true definition of the word friends. I've gained like 4 of them that are some of the best people that I know. Like, for example, there's one person that when I was in the hospital for my first cancer.
No, we haven't gotten there yet, but go ahead.
I was in the hospital for my first cancer series that colon cancer that they took them out, thank God, and everything's clear. This person would go to the hospital every single day, 7 o'clock in the morning, to make sure that I would take a shower, get dressed, eat my breakfast, and every night at 8 o'clock he was there to make sure that I'd done everything I had to do. If I needed anything, he would do it, and then he would leave he would spend time with me there and then go. And this happened for 31 days.
That's
He
amazing.
never failed. How can you repay something like that?
No, I mean
that's a
it's
sign of a true
that's a
friendship.
real friendship, and that's someone that really cares about you, wants the best for you. So all right, so now we're gonna tie it into that. So let's talk about that incident. When was you go to the doctor? You feel something? Did you have any symptoms?
Yeah, I was feeling this really bad headaches. I was losing my balance. My eyesight deteriorated so fast that I went from like two prescriptions in less than a year. And usually I go one time and it's the same one next year.
So it took a year for your eyesight to start deteriorating.
So my uncle said, let's go ahead and send you to the doctor. He's my doctor.
But what do you mean lose your balance? You would faint?
No, I mean, I would lose balance. I would be walking and all of a sudden I would fall. If I didn't have anything to hold me. Because I'll explain to you what was the cause of that. So I went to the hospital. They did a scan, a full body, and they determined that there was a tumor in the brain, in the lower left side of the brain. It has a name, but it's very complicated. I don't remember, and I don't even want to know about it because I know it's not going to be my friend for a long time because I'm going to beat it. And it all happened when they were going to get me ready to get chemo for the colon surgery.
So you were on top of that. You were already getting rid of one.
Right. I already got rid of one, and I was in the process of totally eliminating it when they noticed that there was something else that was going on that was not normal. So that's when they decided to explore more, and boom, it came out. And I'm glad it came out then than later on.
Of course. So when they told you that at that moment, what was your feeling?
Why me? Why me? I do a lot of things. I'm a member. I'm involved in the San Vicente de Paul ministry here in Miami, helping millions of people. I'm involved in the Miami Archdiocese. I don't know. I help people. I do lots of good things with my time since I have it available. And the first thing you think is, why me? But then you don't realize something. There's thousands and millions of people that are in worse conditions than you are.
That's right. And they caught it early. That's a good thing. And right now, you had good news. You going through the chemo and all that, and you just got good news, right?
I got really good news. The reduction in size of the tumor has been dramatic, huge. It's like 3/4 of what it was when it started. So, because the thing is, it was putting pressure in the cortex of the brain, so it would make me have cramps. It would make me basically lose my eyesight. I'm not driving for a while until I'm clear from all this. It would interfere with your appetite. It would, a lot of things. And then it's hard because my family, it's not really involved in this because of my own decision. My dad he's 84, 85 now, and he's very weak in the heart. I know that for a fact. Because something less than this triggers something, and imagine what this could have done to him. So
you're protecting them.
I'm in a way protecting them. My mom, she lives in a bubble, so I don't know how she would react if I tell her not. She will probably exaggerate her reaction. So I'm trying to, and I don't want that. I just want to go through this. I have very good people, very good friends, I shall say, that are going through this with me, and they're making sure that I do everything I have to do. At one point, I gave up. Actually, I was diagnosed in January, and they started treatment right away. And for like 2 or 3 months, nothing was getting better or getting worse, and I gave up. And without nobody knowing, I stopped taking all the medications. And then my uncle noticed that in my blood work, it wasn't coming out. I said, "What are you doing?" And what made me go back to them was that in that little period of time, like 2 months that I didn't take my med, it's when my body said, "Let me show you what's going to happen if you don't do this." And God, I mean, I got scared, so I got like on double medication.
What did you feel?
I had no energy. I had no desire to live. I even contemplated suicide. I kind of like put everybody away from my life. I wanted to be alone. Like, I didn't want to see anybody. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I felt like my whole world was like caving in little by little. And one day when I was in real pain that I couldn't move, it's what I realized, no. You still have a lot to go, and you are going to go a lot more. Come on, help yourself, because if you don't help yourself, nobody else can help you. And that's when I put in 1,000% into this.
Look at that, your attitude. It's everything about your what you think and your energy, right?
I believe that one of the things that people with this disease that they should do is lose the fear. Always think, I am going to win. You're not bigger than me. The mind has a lot of power. The mind can control things and perform miracles that we don't even know about. But we need to use that. We need to use our mind. We need to use our brain. We need to have faith. We need to have what can I say? We need to be confident in ourselves that we're going to be able to do that. And when you wake up in the morning, don't just like feel like, oh God, I know that. No, just go out there and live life like always.
Like if you never had anything.
Like if it's not even there. Even though you know it's there, because Alex, it feels sometimes like an alien is inside of you because you know something's wrong. And it usually happens when you're alone, like laying down, and you pay attention to the inner part of your body. That's when you realize what's going on. Don't be afraid of that. Just don't. The word fear should not even be a part of this. Always, if they tell you no, you cannot do it. Just go ahead and do things that you ordinarily. Oh, don't do this because you're gonna fall and. Don't do it. Be careful what you do, but do things. Life should be going on as normal. Like you're telling this thing inside of you, you know, get out of my body. I don't want you here. Mm-hmm. Okay. And by having that attitude and surround yourself with positive people that will encourage you to do good things. I sometimes hated to tell other people that I'm going through this because they start getting pity on you.
So that's what I was going to. That's where I was going at now. So you saw how people changed once they found out that you had this.
Yes, they drag you back. You start feeling sorry for them because of they're sad, they're crying, and
what is the advice you give people out there that find out that a loved one has some sort of disease?
Instead of feeling sorry for them, just go on with life as normal. Ask them if they need any help. Offer to help. Encourage them. Take them. Don't look at them. Oh, my poor aunt has cancer. She's weak. No, don't do that. 'Cause the mind works like the soil in our houses. You put a little seed, and the seed's gonna grow. And you do the same thing to your brain. You put a thought into it, and no matter how much you want to get rid of it, your subconscious already picked it up, and it's going to eventually surface once in a while. And you're going to live because of that, and you're going to base your attitude because of that. Somebody tells you no, you cannot sing. If you have a dream of becoming a singer, go to take lessons or improve yourself, but don't follow those things that they tell you that you can't do this. Don't feel pity. Don't feel sorry for them because that's the last thing you want to hear. I am so sorry, man. I'm so sorry. I don't want to hear that. I know they mean it with a kind, but I don't want to hear that because those are words that bring you down.
Exactly, and won't get you anywhere.
No.
So now that we go back to that day that you said, "Why me?" If there's anything that you have learned through all this experience. Sometimes things happen to us and we look back and you go, wow, if that wouldn't have happened, I wouldn't have learned this, I wouldn't have seen this or life this way. Do you think, because life works in mysterious ways, do you think life maybe does this to people sometimes because they need to get to the next place in their destiny and they need to realize some things and that's why people go through things?
When you become in touch with yourself and with spiritual learnings, you realize one thing. You realize that life here on this earth right now, to me, what I've learned from and what I want to believe that is the right thing, this is just a learning plateau for us, okay? We consist of energy inside our bodies, and this is just a suit that we wear on the outside. So all these things that you're presented with that are roadblocks, let's say, I think they're tests that somebody from my higher, I want to say the universe, is sending to you because they feel that you're going to handle. Whatever happens to you, it's not going to be something that you won't be able to handle it. There's always a way to go to the finish line. And you need to learn how to do that. You need to always, when you see something horrible, turn it into, there's always a way to make it positive, and remember that, because that is what's going to get you through this. If you keep making the same mistakes over and over and over and over, like, my friend, he's got cancer, but I don't have time to go see him. I don't have time to make the time, go see your friends, hang out with your friends, do things with your friends. No, I have friends of mine that they thought this was contagious.
No, I don't believe what I've just heard, but
okay. I've had two friends of mine.
You definitely need to get rid of those friends.
Oh, no, they're gone.
All right.
But they thought this was contagious. I mean, and so right now I'm in a very fast forward path to my complete eradication of the cancer.
All right. So now when this is all over and the cancer's gone, what are your plans? What have you been dreaming of doing?
Well, I do enough right now, and I'm going to just keep doing what I'm doing because this is what's made me go through this hard times in my life. Surrounded by people that are in that same circle of helping others. They're kind people. They're people from the church that it helps a lot, rather than being in a people that you meet in the clubs and the discotheques. And
Yeah, I mean, it's a different frequency. It's a different energy that you bring to your life. But I want to ask you, when this is all over, that you're all 100% healthy, do you have any plans as far as anything else you want to do? Not who you hang out with, but as far as traveling, job, or something you wanted to do, or something that... Because now I think you see life differently, right?
Yes. And you know what's sad? A lot of times it needs to happen this way. You need to go through something tragic that happens to your life to realize that life is beautiful, and we make it complicated.
Well, I think the universe shakes you up if you don't change in time. So I say change before the universe comes and shakes you up.
I see people arguing about such stupid things that I look at them and it's like, don't waste your time doing that. Just give each other a hug and kiss and move on. We collect material stuff. I'm like Patsy and Adina now. I want surfaces all over my house. I want clean cuts. I don't want...
At the end, we don't take that with us.
Exactly. You're not going to take that with you.
So any last words you want to say to everybody out there about your experience, your journey, and how you're feeling right now, and what's to come?
I want to thank every one of my friends that helped me go through this. Sorry. Because I made it really easy for me. And keep going, because you're going to win. Don't give up.
Do more and pod with me. If you have not done so, go to the App Store and download our app. You can also go to alexjaguiar.com, and we are also on social media. On Facebook, you can go and follow us on Pod With Me, AJA. On Twitter, it's Alex J. Aguiar. And on Instagram, it's Pod With Me. This is Alex J. Aguiar, and thank you for listening. And remember, don't fall off the pod.
Let's get a sound check. Ready.